Perhaps you are in 10th grade now and thinking of getting your pilot license. But did you know many flight schools don't accept students unless they complete their 12th grade or high school? However, there is a solution to that for all students. This post explained how you could begin pilot training in India after 10th grade and kickstart your aviation dreams. What to study to become a pilot after 10th in India? The most common way to become a pilot in India is by enrolling in a flight school. A flight school is an institute where they will teach how to safely operate an aircraft on the ground and in the air. The flight training cost is high, and therefore many students give up pursuing their aviation dream. But there is also a free way to become a pilot. The accessible alternative route for Indians to pursue their aviation goal is enlisting in the Indian Air Force. The Air Force pilot training will be more challenging than the typical flight school training. But both route is excellent for becoming a career pilot. However, flight schools and the Indian Air Force require individuals to complete their 12th grade to become pilots. Thus, for Indians having dreams of flying airplanes for a living, your priority should be to pass 12th grade first. No flight school in India will accept your application for commercial pilot training if you don't give a 12th grade certificate. Fortunately, you can enroll in a flight school for a private pilot license after finishing your 10th grade. But pursuing a career with a private pilot license is not possible. Let's discuss this further in the next section. Which pilot license can you obtain after the 10th? Once you complete your 10th grade and you are 17 years old, you are eligible to acquire your private pilot license. The priority for earning a PPL is 17 years old. Now understand this, getting a private pilot license is in the process of obtaining a commercial pilot license. If you intend to get your commercial pilot license after 12th grade, I suggest starting pilot training early. I mean beginning training for a private pilot license after 10th grade by early. Simultaneously continue flight training for PPL and go to high school to finish 12th grade. By the time you finish 12th grade, you may already have your private pilot license and immediately start training for a commercial pilot license. If you follow what I explained, you will be ahead of many other student pilots in the industry. Is it wise to start pilot training after the 10th? If you want to start private pilot license training after the 10th grade, you can enroll in a flight school. If you have the funding, you must begin your flight without delays. As I mentioned, you will be ahead of other student pilots in your career. The sooner you complete the pilot training course in India, the quicker you will get a job in airlines and start making money. So be smart and work hard to land your dream job. Nevertheless, if you don't have adequate funding to start pilot training after 10th grade and want to enlist in the Air Force for free, you must wait until you graduate high school. Can I become a pilot after 10th outside India? Not all flight schools abroad accept international students without high school certificates. But some flight schools outside India allow students without high school certificates. These kinds of flight schools mention in their requirement that one must be a high school graduate to become a commercial pilot. But in reality, they don't ask for educational background during enrollment. You have to apply to a flight school and pass their admission test, which is pretty straightforward, and pay the course fee. However, I can't emphasize enough for students to finish their 12th grade before jumping to conclusions. If you are eager to begin your training, enroll for a private pilot license course and simultaneously continue your high school studies. What should I choose after the 10th to become a pilot? You can choose any subject of your choice to study after the 10th and still become a pilot. The truth is, the subjects taught in your flight school ground classes will prepare you for the actual flight training. Not a thing taught during your high school will aid you in becoming a pilot unless it is related to airplane power plant or any subtopic of aviation. You may choose to study commerce, economics, or biology after the 10th, yet you can become a pilot. As long as you meet the physical requirements, you are good to start flight training. You have to be smart too. Smart enough to capture all the lessons taught in the ground classes of your flight school. Pass all the subjects in your ground school, and you can start flying to gain hours as a pilot. However, an intelligent pilot has to keep learning all the time. You will learn from your own mistakes. Rather than making mistakes yourself and learning, studying from books related to aviation is better. Books will give you the knowledge of other people's mistakes. So why should you take the risk and learn from your own mistakes? When flying an airplane, you are not playing with a toy. Thus, you have to be responsible and know the consequences of mistakes ahead of time.